Good morning. This is Philip Koerper. This is the Philip Koerper Show. This is episode 81, episode 83, December 13th. I just want to start off with this Cohen situation. Michael Cohen has been sentenced to 3 years in prison or some kind of in jail for multiple crimes. Tax evasion is one of them. The other one is a possible campaign finance issue, and also for lying to Congress. Okay, and so off he goes. So who is Michael Cohen? Michael Cohen was the attorney and counsel, personal attorney of Donald Trump. Donald Trump hired him to do his stuff. And Donald right now that's the third tweet Donald is updating us on this. And so his response is, I never directed Michael Cohen to break the law. He was a lawyer and he is supposed to know the law. It is called, in quotes, advice of counsel. And a lawyer has great liability if a mistake is made. That is why they get paid. Despite that, many campaign finance lawyers have strongly stated that I did nothing wrong with respect to campaign finance laws, if they even apply, because this was not campaign finance. Cohen was guilty on many charges unrelated to me, but he pleaded to 2 campaign charges which were not criminal and which he probably was not guilty even on civil basis. Those charges were just agreed to by him in order to embarrass the president and get a much reduced prison sentence, which he did, including the fact that his family was temporarily let off the hook. As a lawyer, Michael has great liability to me. Yeah, so I think Donald is really making a really good point here. This is an attorney who was hired. Michael Cohen used his position with Donald Trump to make lots of money, and in many regards took advantage of him. But, Donald Trump was using him to do his lawyerly stuff. This is an interesting situation. And the most frustrating thing here is I want to say this, I watch Fox News. Judge Napolitano is really, in my humble little opinion, completely worthless. He has been so wrong on all of this all along. Judge Napolitano has really worried me because back when a lot of this was breaking and President Trump was just elected president, of course, this is just like Richard Nixon. The left will not leave him alone. The left will just continue to. They went after Richard Nixon. They went after him. They finally took him down. This is incredible, the amount of opposition that Donald has had. And of course, with this Mueller thing, these people snooping around, breathing down his back all the time, is really so frustrating. Judge Napolitano was on with Shepard Smith yesterday and talking about, if you ask someone to go murder someone, then you're just as guilty as the person who commits the murder. Now, I've read up on this. I don't think that's really true. Okay, you're like an accessory to murder. Okay, so there are differences here. I think this is the trouble that we had with the mob influence, like in the 1920s and 1930s. We couldn't. The mob bosses were ordering all these killings, but we couldn't throw them in jail for just ordering those killings. We had to get them on these RICO charges and all these other things. So this is really, I feel like it's like I was thinking about, like, if you go in and you pay a doctor to take your appendix out and he doesn't do it right, I mean, you're not liable, right? So if Donald Trump is paying a lawyer to do a bunch of stuff and the lawyer does things wrong, Donald Trump's not liable, okay? This is why we have lawyers. This is when we buy and sell homes, we pay for lawyers. We pay for lawyers to do all the paperwork and to get everything just right. we're asking for, we don't know how to do it. They know how to do it. They are lawyers. They know all the legal ramifications and things. So this is really just, I think Judge Napolitano continues, even on the Fox Rundown this morning, Judge Napolitano says that Donald Trump asked Michael Cohen to do felonies. These are felony charges. Okay, now these are felony charges that they have on Michael Cohen on these supposedly campaign finance violations. Okay, I think Judge Napolitano is really probably wrong once again. He's always just hoping, just like the whole left, that Donald Trump, they've got him. They've got Donald now, and Donald always, gets off. That's because Donald hasn't really done anything wrong. Okay. He plays tough, but he has not done anything wrong. So Michael Cohen, of course, is completely discredited. He's already lied to the FBI. He's already lied to Congress. I mean, he's a known liar. And so now to try to get them to turn on Donald, it's true. And there's the Donald tweets, guilty even on a civil basis. Those charges were just agreed to by him in order to embarrass the president and get much reduced prison sentence, which he did, including that fact. Okay, so Michael Cohen, really is just trying to save his own butt here and trying to reduce his prison sentence. Okay, and really, his credibility is just totally gone. Which he did, including the fact that his family was temporarily let off the hook as a lawyer. Okay, I already read that one. And so anyhow, I think Donald is once again, the left thinks they've got him here and on this technicality. But no, I don't think they do. I don't think they do. Of course, really, this is all political now. With the president, it's all political. All right. And so you think these are impeachable, because the House can, drop or, try to impeach the president anytime they want. Okay. That's their prerogative. High crimes and misdemeanors. But they lose a lot of political capital when they do this, especially if it doesn't work. And so what campaign finance violations? Where is the Russian collusion? Okay, there is none. There's no Russian collusion. This Michael Cohen thing, nothing. There is no big bombshell here. This is no big deal. And so this is all just going to blow right over. And Judge Napolitano is wrong. He's constantly wrong and always thinks that there's a there when there is nothing there. And so once again, I think Judge Napolitano is wrong. I think Donald is going to be fine. They are just completely harassing him and attacking him. Michael Cohen is took advantage of Donald. I really like this piece on Fox News by Jonathan Turley, which talks about this. He writes, the former Trump fixer and lawyer who made millions of dollars off his connection to Trump and illegal business dealings. This guy was just a crook. Is now a disgraced, confessed criminal facing 3 years in prison, set to begin March 2nd, and $2 million in fines, forfeitures. Cohen's tragedy was presented as a tale of affairs gone bad and women scorned with a cast of opportunists and sycophants. Cohen latched onto Trump as a powerful man who was his ticket to fortune and the good life. But Cohen's good life shattered when he was caught up in special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into whether the Trump presidential campaign colluded with Russia. Mueller's probe has widened like a spider web, growing larger and larger and ultimately snaring Cohen for conduct having little to do with Russia. Indeed, most of the crimes were not even linked to Trump. Cohen's sentencing Wednesday came on his earlier guilty pleas to multiple counts of business and tax fraud. He also pleaded guilty making an excessive contribution to the Trump campaign involving two women who claimed they had an extramarital affair with Trump. Claims Trump denies. Cohen also pleaded guilty to making his false statements to Congress regarding unsuccessful efforts to build a Trump tower in Moscow. When Trump didn't protect Cohen with a pardon or intervention, Cohen turned to Mueller and began to publicly praise him while criticizing Trump. For his part, Mueller was clearly receptive to Cohen's entreaties. While federal prosecutors in the Southern District of New York portrayed Cohen as a liar, manipulator, and felon, Mueller undermined their effort to secure a longer prison sentence against Cohen by saying that Cohen is now redeemed and cooperative. Indeed, this remake could be called a special counsel named Desire. Mueller's desire to build a case against President Trump, the man who Cohen described as being responsible for his undoing and leading him into darkness, is so overwhelming that he undercut other federal prosecutors. In the end, however, neither Mueller nor the U.S. Attorney in the Southern District of New York would recommend a sentence of 0 jail time. Cohen sought mercy based on his kindness of another stranger, Judge Pauley. The tragic story of Cohen is fascinating precisely because it's so grotesque. He made a career as a legal thug who bluffed and bullied his way into millions. Even as prosecutors were closing in on him for tax fraud, bank fraud, and perjury, Cohen got companies like AT&T to give him millions of dollars for access and influence over President Trump. It didn't matter that Cohen was bluffing about his great influence over the President of the United States and that he couldn't deliver on his extravagant claims of being an influence peddler worth millions of his clients. Yeah, Cohen is, okay. So goodbye, good riddance. Well, and for Donald to have an attorney like him, okay, well, that's not good news. But, Cohen, apparently got things done for Donald. Cohen apparently was an extremely dishonest man, and he got caught. There you go. It's not going to do anything with Donald. It's going to blow right over. Once again, the left, they think they got him. They're just going at him. Campaign finance laws, I agree with Donald. Who knows if this even a part of this? He's done things like this before. 250 congressmen have paid off women. Okay, so this is not a crime. Okay, if it was a campaign finance violation, the Obama administration had $1.8 million of campaign finance violations. This is only $300,000, I think. Very small. And so did Obama get impeached over it? Oh, no, there was just a little fine to his administration, like $300,000. I mean, big deal that his political party had to pay or something like that. So, no. Hey, Theresa May survives. So there was a no confidence vote. It's like Star Wars. And they tried to get rid of Theresa May as British Prime Minister, but she survived. She got I forgot what the vote. It was 200 MPs backing her and 117 against. So she still is in power. She's just this Brexit is just a joke. I mean, this is unbelievable. When you join the European Union, they do not let you get out. I mean, you're basically sworn in. So for Britain to get out, I mean, I think really my opinion on this is they should just do a hard Brexit. Just leave. I mean, Theresa May is trying to negotiate with all these countries and make it really gentle. But no, the European Union is just going to punish her. And so they are not going to make it easy. And they're just scratching and clawing at everything. If she just leaves, if they just get Great Britain out, the economy is not going to tank. All of these trading partners will work out private deals. Okay, people like to trade. They get rich off of trade. Okay, this is a great economic boom. Win-win for people. So anyhow, she survives. It really illustrates, I mean, the whole European Union is falling apart. You've got Great Britain. You've got France. There's more and more talk of France leaving the European Union now. The socialism is failing in France. The Yellow Jacket revolt them demanding more money, higher minimum wage laws, money. Good grief, they're always asking for money. So anyhow, yeah, well, if you depend on the government for money and the government cuts it down, then you're in big trouble. Yeah, rule number 1, don't be dependent on the government. This is an interesting article in Breitbart talking about this Stoneman Douglas High School shooting guy, the Parkland shooting. And then we all have seen videos of this armed security guard who was, no, wait, he was a deputy. I mean, so like he's a policeman. And he did not, I mean, he heard all the shooting. We've got video of him. We've got him radioing shots fired. The guy did not go in and take care of the shooter and confront the shooter. No, he just stood out there and saved his own little butt while the kids were getting shot up. Okay, only guns stop guns. And this is really, I mean, from what we see here, this guy's trying to defend himself. But then again, he said he had no legal duty to protect the students. I mean, like, why are we paying you to be a deputy? I mean, police protect people. Firemen protect people, save people. This is what you do. So this is just so absurd. I can't believe that this guy, Scott Peterson, is saying these things. And this sheriff, Scott Israel, is still in office. Anyhow, the Parkland school shooting was a comedy of errors, many amongst the police force there. That whole Broward County is completely corrupt. We saw how they do their voting. Dr. Snipes. So what a disaster. The left is, I guess, really wrecked that county. I saw this little article, which is really interesting. It shows you how much we don't know about climate change. But this is, have you guys ever heard of a mega cryometer? Mega cryometer. This is a Wikipedia article here. Is a very large chunk of ice, which despite sharing many textural, hydrochemical, isotopic features detected in large hailstones, is formed under unusual atmospheric conditions which clearly differ from those of the cumulonimbus cloud scenario, clear sky conditions. Okay, they are sometimes called huge hailstones, but do not need to form under thunderstorm conditions. Jesus Martinez Frias, a planetary geologist and astrobiologist at the Institute of Geosciences and the Spanish National Research Council in Madrid, pioneered research into mega cryometers in January 2000 after ice chunks weighing up to 6.6 pounds rained on Spain out of cloudless skies for 10 days. Okay. What the heck? I mean, there's just big pieces of ice. I mean, 6 pounds coming out of a cloudless sky. More than 50 mega cryometers have been recorded since the year 2000. They vary in mass between 1.1 pound or half a kilogram to several tens of kilograms. One in Brazil weighed in at more than 50 kilograms, 110 pounds. Chunks about 2 meters in size fell in Scotland in 1849. So, I mean, these are just huge pieces of ice falling out of the sky. Just right out of the sky. Not out of a cloud or anything or thunderstorm. The process that creates mega cryometers is not completely understood, mainly with respect to the atmospheric dynamics necessary to produce them. They may have similar mechanism of formation to that leading to the production of hailstones. Scientists studies show that their composition matches normal tropospheric rainwater for the areas in which they fall. In addition, mega cryometers display textural variations of the ice and hydrochemical and isotopic heterogeneity, which evidence a complex formation process in the atmosphere. It is known that they do not form from airplane toilet leakage because the large chunks of ice that occasionally do fall from airliners are distinctly blue due to disinfectant use. Some have speculated that these ice chunks must have fallen from aircraft fuselages after plain water ice accumulating on those aircraft through normal atmospheric conditions has simply broken loose. However, similar events occurred prior to the invention of aircraft. Okay, why am I going off on this? It's just a little tangent. But, do we understand climate change? Okay, no. No, we cannot even explain why these big, huge pieces of ice just fall from the sky. They're not hailstones. They just fall from a cloudless sky. Okay, so, I wanted to use this to illustrate there are so many different things that we do not understand. And there are so many things that we don't understand about our planet. And climate change is definitely something that we do not understand very well. Neither are these things. I want to go a little bit back. Michael Knowles mentioned this yesterday in his podcast. And he is so right. Jim Jordan going after the Google CEO. Number one, many of these politicians are really clueless when it comes to technology. Lindsey Graham, remember, just a few years ago said he had never even sent an email. Okay, so a lot of these politicians are extremely clueless when it comes to technology. Really dumb. And one of them, I don't know who it was, he was holding up his iPhone and goes, is this thing tracking me? If I go from here to over there, is it tracking me? How stupid can you be? Our phones have GPS in it. And if I turn on Google Maps and I allow tracking, Google knows where I am. It's no secret. Okay? And if I'm in a building and it can lock on my position, yes. The phone knows when I'm moving. And Google will have all that information. And if I turn on Find Friends on Apple, then Apple knows where I am. And then other people can look at that app, that Apple app, Find Friends, and know where I am. Duh. This is not very difficult. And Michael Knowles was really smart about this. We are not so worried about privacy with our phones. We know Google. I use Gmail. I use Google services. So Google knows every website I go to. Everything I click on, they know that. They know my location. Who knows? Maybe they can turn the microphone on. That might be able to be hacked as well as my computer. Apple, it's an iPhone. Apple has all of this data. I know that. I give that to them. But the thing is that we just don't want them to get political. Okay, and if they do, they need to admit it. Google is pretending that they're not political. It is a huge lie. That is the most frustrating. Facebook, the same thing. CNN, the same thing. Fox it's a conservative news channel. Fox is. The Daily Caller and the Daily Wire. The Daily Wire, they're very open about being conservatives. Okay, they are. So Jim Jordan goes after Sundar Pichai here on this turning out the Latino vote. There's this email that got caught and key states. So someone was turning out the Latino vote in key states. Okay, so Jim Jordan was questioning him on this about political bias. Okay, and Google, just he will deny this. Okay, so this was Jim Jordan says, thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Pichai. In your opening statement, you said, I lead this company without political bias and work to ensure that our products operate that way. Eliana Murillo is a Google head of multicultural marketing. Does Miss Murillo do good work? I'm not directly familiar with her, Pinchai said, but she's an employee of Google, and we are proud of our employees. Then Jordan says, well, you praised her work the day after the 26th election. In a 4-page email, she wrote about her work with the Latino vote. She said, even Sundar gave our efforts a shout out. Is she referring to you there? She was referring to my communication around translation for a different related effort. Okay, well, I'm going to look at 2 other sentences she had in that long email again, recapping her work in the 2016 election with the Latino vote. She said, quote, we pushed to get out the Latino vote with our features. A few lines down in her email, she qualified that sentence. And she said, quote, we pushed to get out the Latino vote with our features in key states, unquote. And she specifically cites the states Florida and Nevada. Near the end of her email, in a similar sentence, she says, quote, we supported partners like Voto Latino to pay for rides to the polls in key states, unquote, with me. I want to kind of analyze those 2 sentences. And then Pichai says, Congress, and we are very concerned where there are allegations like that. Our team looked into it. I'm not asking you that question. I'm asking you, is it fair to say that we in both sentences refer to the company Google? Pichai, as Google, we wouldn't participate in any partisan efforts around any civic process, so I don't. Okay, so this goes on and on, but the Pichai is just really, I mean, he's not being honest. He's not answering the questions. Okay, this is really an obvious place that Google got involved in certain states with the Latino vote. And you know what that means? That means they're political. Okay, that's political action. That's politicking. Okay, they need to declare that. Okay, that's politics. And so this is really an example where Google is getting super political. And we all know this. They use Wikipedia that I just read from with the mega cryometers. They use Wikipedia to clarify. So if I click on a climate change, like a skeptical climate change video, like from Prager University or from John Stossel, YouTube will post a little note there from Wikipedia like, oh, climate change is something that's really real, and some Wikipedia quote. Okay, Wikipedia usually is really pretty accurate, but it's left leaning. I mean, we know that. And so Google, but if you click on something like climate change, like some big awesome article on climate change and how this is going to destroy us in 5 years and something like that, there will not be a little note pop up that's saying, well, some people are a little skeptical of this. They're not going to give you the other side of the issue. Okay, only on conservative things will they give you the left point of view. But the left point of view, it's morally right, it's right, and it's truth, and they don't even want to hear a conservative side. So this is frustrating that these companies will not have an open platform, that they're just politicking, and they're using their companies to push really left-wing things, just like our school universities, and these tech companies are doing the same thing. I mean, it's the way it is. I mean, no company is going to have no bias at all. All of us, we all have bias, but we just need to counteract that. I wish we had a conservative Twitter or something, but I wish Twitter would just be an open platform, because I love debating ideas. And so that's why I listen to NPR. I want to know what the left is up to. Now, speaking of the left, Hillary Clinton looks like she's in a little bit of trouble, okay? This federal court orders Hillary Clinton to answer additional questions under oath on the creation of her controversial email system, as well as about her claims that the State Department had 90 to 95% of her emails within 30 days. Okay, so anyhow, there's a little bit of continued legal action with Hillary Clinton. I like this stuff because I know she's thinking about running for president again, I guess. Who knows? And so, to have some pressure on her is good. And so because I think most of us in America were done with her politically. I mean, yes, I'm a conservative and she's a liberal, and I'm not a big fan of her, but I would just, for the sake of just entertainment, I wish the Democrats could run somebody else against the Donald in 2020 rather than her. That would be so boring, and she would be destroyed by Donald again. So getting back to this debate and First Amendment, and I mean, look, there's this, who is this guy? This Democrat, California Congressman Ted Lieu, Lieu, raised eyebrows across Washington. This is from Hannity.com. And he said that he would love to regulate the content of speech, but is prohibited from doing so by the First Amendment. I mean, this is the left really, they really do openly. This guy, even, I mean, at least he's being honest. I mean, they want to regulate speech. I can't believe that they really want to stifle free speech. Boy, do we really want to push all of this stuff underground? I would rather just us debate it out in the open. And if some people have really crazy ideas, let them air that. Wow. I mean, it's amazing. Like the Heisman Trophy winner, I heard that, he had some tweets that in his past that were, some people were saying they're, against gay people or something like that. I mean, good grief. I mean, can't we have freedom to have ideas, even if some of our ideas are really stupid? I mean, you need to be free to be stupid in America. All of us do. As long as we don't infringe upon the rights of others, we need to be allowed to be stupid, because all of us are stupid sometimes. And speaking of stupid, Chuck Schumer, now he's not stupid, but Chuck Schumer is really cracking me up here. And I think Trump has got him here. This is a Breitbart article. During a speech on the Senate floor, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer stated that President Trump has signaled his willingness to hold part of the country hostage in the name of a petty campaign pledge to fire up his base. Schumer said President Trump made clear he'll hold parts of the government hostage for a petty campaign pledge. Oh, to build a wall. Oh, strong border security. That's a petty campaign pledge? Well, there you go. Okay, see, the left is not in the this is so dumb. I think Chuck is being petty. Chuck's going to give him 1.2 billion, but not 5 billion. It sounds like you're being petty, Chuck. Why not give him the extra money? I mean, these walls work. These border walls in Israel work. Down in San Diego, in El Paso, these walls work. In Yuma, Arizona, these walls work. I mean, duh. Walls work. They keep bad people out. I mean, don't the Clintons have in Chapultepec or wherever they are, upstate New York or just New York, whatever that enclave is called, don't they have walls around that place? We have walls around and fences around the White House. I mean, okay, how dumb. A petty campaign pledge to fire up his base. No, we really want a wall. We want border security. We're tired of all these illegal aliens coming in our country. Okay, we really think it's a big deal. Why don't you just give it to us? I mean, President Trump was elected on this. The people want this. Your person lost. I mean, is it such a bad idea, Chuck? You used to support this border wall stuff. But now that Donald wants it, you're all against it. Okay, it seems like you're being petty and just political. So, oh well. And I'm kind of going off on this is Adam Schiff. I mean, this guy. Now, this is the incoming House Intelligence Committee chairman. Oh, yeah, Rush Limbaugh calls him Pencil Neck. Okay, he was talking, And he has called for the Justice Department of Office Legal Counsel to reevaluate its opinion that a sitting president can't be indicted under circumstances in which the failure to do so may mean the person escapes justice. Schiff said, I think that the Justice Department needs to re-examine that OLC opinion that you cannot indict a sitting president under circumstances in which the failure to do so may mean the person escapes justice. Because if it were the case that was now or never, that if you wait until after the president leaves office, they can no longer be brought to justice, that ought to create certainly an expectation that OLC rule. It might not mean revisiting the rule altogether. I mean, this guy is so dumb. I mean, the founding fathers were so smart. They knew that a president could be elected in the United States, and what the opposition could do, even they don't like him and they didn't want him to get elected, but the people elected a new president. We all know that the opposition could just legally go after the new president and harass him from a legal standpoint and put him in court all 4 years. He could be stuck in court, stuck in legal proceedings for 4 years. Okay, so he can't carry out the office of the president. Okay, you can thwart the voters by just doing a bunch of legal mumbo jumbo, even if it's right, even if these are true accusations or true crimes. Well, then you can impeach him. See, then you impeach him. So Adam Schiff, you are so wrong here. If President Trump is such a bad, evil man and he's committed all these high crimes and misdemeanors, then you can impeach him. It's all set up. You can do this. It's all legal. It's all in the Constitution. Okay? Supreme Court's not going to intervene. Okay? You can do this. But to just harass a president of the United States for all of these, endless amount of lawsuits, will just handcuff him and prevent him from carrying out his duty as president. Oh, he's so wrong. Okay, I just wanted to close up. On my run this morning, I was listening to a podcast, 3 and 30 podcasts for moms. This is by Rachel Nielsen. Really, she's awesome. I hadn't listened to her before. And she interviewed Jennifer Finlayson Fife, who has a PhD in psychology and is a Chicago therapist and counselor, and is really great and deals mainly with sexual issues. And so this was a great episode with Jennifer Finlayson Fife and talks about building relationships. And the desire and women after they get married, like their sexual desire decreases and this problems that they have with that. And Jennifer Finlayson Fife is really great at addressing these things. So it's a great podcast, 3 and 30 Podcast for Moms by Rachel Nielsen. I recommend you guys checking that out. I really enjoyed it. I want to close with this scripture in my scripture reading I had this morning in Luke chapter 8. This is a great event. And a woman having an issue of blood 12 years, this is verse 43, which had spent all her living upon physicians, neither could be healed of any, came behind him and touched the border of his garment, and immediately her issue of blood staunched. And Jesus said, "Who touched me?" When all denied, Peter and they that were with him said, "Master, the multitude thronged thee and pressed thee, and sayest thou, Who touched me?" And Jesus said, sometimes these guys just didn't get it, but that's okay. Peter doesn't get it. But Jesus says, "Somebody had touched me, for I perceive that virtue is gone out of me." It's like Peter saying, Christ, there's a bunch of people here. They're bumping into you. No one's really touched you. And Jesus persists and tells him, I perceive that virtue is gone out of me. Virtue, and probably another word there is power, has gone out of me. And when the woman saw that she was not hid, she came trembling, and falling down before him, she declared unto him before all the people for what cause she had touched him, and how she was healed immediately. And he said unto her, Daughter, be of good comfort. Thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace. Oh, I love that. The power and the goodness of Jesus Christ to heal us, not only physically, but also spiritually. So that is just awesome. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Philip Koerper Show. I'm Philip Koerper, copyright 2018. You can subscribe at SoundCloud or at iTunes, or watch the video on YouTube. And go to philkoerper.com for further info. You guys have a great day. Thank you so much.